now I'm all the way up to like 6,000 RPM and I'm going at 50 kilometers per hour. Right, so as you can see, they are no longer green. They no longer green. Alright, so let's scan this vehicle for any codes. Let's go into let's do a full scan. So I'm seeing 3 codes. Right, I got the scope hooked up, right, on sensor 1 and sensor 2. Let's see what this code is. Alright, so I barely made it back to the shop. Put the scan tool back on this vehicle. I'm getting a P1121 electric throttle control actuator. Right, I'm gonna put a throttle body on this vehicle, man. I'm seeing that I'm getting the sensor 1 and sensor 2, but when I step on the X now, I'm getting no response. So I'm going to go into the ECM. I'm gonna pull the PIDs back up again for the acceleration pedal and the TPS. Let's see what it is. So we're gonna go back to the 4 PIDs that we had up. Press OK. Right, so right now you see I'm getting all these good, right? But when I step on the X, the only one I'm seeing moving is the acceleration pedal sensor. Let's see. Now it moves. Alright, so now it moves like it's glitching. Let's clean this up some more. Put 20. Alright, so we got that graphed. So right now everything is communicating that it's supposed to. Alright, that's good. So let's take it for a spin and see if it happens again. So right now I'm all the way up to like 6,000 RPM and I'm going at 50 kilometers per hour. Right, so as you can see, they are no longer green. They no longer green. Switch off the vehicle, leave it for like a little 2 minutes, start it back up. I'm gonna go in reverse to get out. Oh man, for a little longer. Right now I'm stuck in the middle of the street, man. Right now I'm getting the reverse. So now we're gonna head right back to the shop so we could change out this throttle body actuator. So I'm driving slowly and they are no longer green. They are no longer like before. Remember, they was switching, they was going like opposite each other, and I'm stepping on the X, and once in a while they will do it, but I gotta step on the X real hard. It's like they don't want to, they're not talking like they used to. They're just coming close, but they're not crossing. So the red was supposed to go low and the blue is supposed to go high, and they're not even communicating no more. Oh man, it happened again. So I gotta pull over. I'm gonna switch off the vehicle, leave it for a bit. Yep. This part of it, man. Start back. Alright, let's go again. Let's see if I can make it back to the shop. Just gotta take my time. So I'm on the X right now. I'm like 2,000. Now I'm getting is like 30. They're not switching anymore. Okay, they're not switching anymore. And let's put it back in park again and switch off. So basically they're not communicating anymore. Key on. The red went high. Right now the red is like, let's say 4 to 5 volts, and the blue is, let's say, probably less than a 1 volt, which would be the 0.76, I guess, volt. So the engine works, but I'm not so sure about that transmission, and I'm definitely changing this throttle.
1 hour later.
There's another throttle, so I'm going to clean this one up, install it, and probably have to do a relearn and let the ECU know that we replaced the throttle, and let's see if it works. Right, I'm gonna leave my, matter of fact, I'm gonna take it for a spin also and make sure that it all is well before I call the customer. So let's pop this in. All right, so we got the basically a used throttle on. All right, so I'm gonna leave my probes hooked up so I can monitor my TP1 and TP2. Alright, so what we're gonna do next, we gotta do a recalibration with this throttle to make sure that it's synced properly. So let's set it up. Let's go on recently in Nissan. Matter of fact, let's come back out of here. Probably I can get it with the, sorry, this window sounds horrible. So let's come out of there. Matter of fact, let's go maintenance. And reset. Let's see if we have anything to do with the. Don't have anything. What else could we check? I'm trying to see if we have any kind of reset when it comes to the throttle value learning. Let's see if we have any calibration that needs to be done with this throttle or not. What I'm doing now, I'm going to set my Pico up, or just either relearn. Alright, so let's start the vehicle, and then we'll check to see if we have to do anything with the throttle. Let's go into manual. Let's go in Japan. Not to you. 2000 snap. Wrong. 2012. ECM. So before, remember we had the codes for the throttle, which was TP Sensor 1, and the throttle, and basically we was checking to see if we had issues with the TP sensor. So right now we don't have no codes, which is good. Let's go to special functions. Do I see anything with throttle? No, I don't. Let's start the vehicle up and do a idle air control reset. Let's start it up. Switch off. Switch back on. Alright, so we start the vehicle up. The check light pop back on. We gotta do a relearn because this is a used throttle that I've installed, so I'm not sure if the ECM will recognize it, seeing that it's from another vehicle. I know some manufacturers, you have to let the ECM know that, hey, I replaced the throttle. I'm looking for that in this feature here. I'm not seeing anything. I'm going to just let it start and run so it can get warmed up. I'll do either relearn. Let's see. Let's go in our read data stream. Let's pick the acceleration pedal. I'm not going to step on it yet. I'm just going to do either relearn and see what's good. Let's graph this. Okay, so the check light is on. Let's pull up the scope while we're at it. Set up the Pico so we can monitor the TPS and see what's good, if we gain any readings, and then we'll take it for a test run. Let's monitor our temperature sensor so we know when we reach the correct temperature where we could do an idle relearn. So right now we're at 33 degrees. Alright, so I'm going to leave that there. I'll set up the scope. That's alright, so we got sensor 1 is reading like, let's say 0.74 volts, and sensor 2 is reading a little bit over 4 volts. So remember, when you accelerating, they tend to like cross each other. When you step on the X, one will go high, one will go low. So that is what I'm monitoring right now. I'm just gonna reduce the voltage a little bit. In fact, we could leave it at 20. That's not a problem. What can we do next? Let's see, put some more time on it. So as I said, once the vehicle get warmed up, then I will do the idle control. But for now, right now you're seeing the idle is like going up and down because like the ECU is trying to figure out where yet. Check light is still on. Let's come out of here, and this is probably, let's read the fault codes and see if anything pops up. Right, if anything pop up, we know along the line that we will have a fault code for the throttle, because probably the ECU is gonna be looking for that throttle, and if you're not gonna see it, you're gonna have the idle all over the place. So I got a throttle body, but this one is really was very hard to find. So I'm not sure if you had to match the numbers or something like that, but highly doubt that. Right, I believe that we just needed to do a recalibration when we got it and put it in. So let's see. So now read again, no fault codes, but the check light is on. Let's clear the code. We don't have no fault code, so I shouldn't have no check light on, but it's still telling me that I have no fault codes. Alright, did I leave anything unplugged? No, I did not. I see a flow, everything is in. Acceleration pedal. Let's see, engine speed, coolant temp, mass airflow, and TP1 and TP2. Right now the mass airflow is saying 0. Why is that? Not supposed to. That means is he plugged in or not? It's supposed to be reading like around 1.2 volts, 1.1 volts. So plug the master flow in right here. The master flow is plugged in. Right, everything is plugged in. The throttle is plugged in. So how come the master flow is reading low voltage? Matter of fact, let me get my scan tool. So right now the master flow is saying 0.35 volts, which is incorrect. Right now the vehicle is idling, and I'm supposed to be reading at least 1 point. There you go. So I'm not sure why this master flow is reading 0.35. Is it not working? Oh. Switch off. Let's put it back on. This master flow is still not reading. I'm getting 0.35, and I'm supposed to be reading like 1.1 here. So that means the throttle is still closed then. That's probably why. So I'm wondering if because the throttle body is closed right now, the master flow voltage is not raised up. It's not increasing. So let's step on the X and see if it make a difference. So I'm stepping on the X, I'm not getting anything at all. Check light is on. I'm not getting anything, no movements on the APP. Because I gotta do a calibration, I know. Well, how do you do this thing? If I remember. Alright, so we just installed the throttle. I got the vehicle idling right now. You can tell I'm like hovering around 800, a little under 800 RPM. Right, I got my scope hooked up. We're gonna go into scan tool because I gotta see if they have any way to do an engine ECU relearn to let the ECU know that I replaced the throttle. So let's see if we have that feature on the scan tool. If not, I will have to go and grab another one. Well, I'm hoping that we do. So let's see if it have probably just gotta do a idle relearn. Let's check self count. Alright, just at 100. Let's come out of there. So you always perform this when you replace the IAC V valve, which is basically inside the actuator of the throttle body, or the entire throttle body, or the ECM, right? So you gotta let it know that you replace the part. Let's see what it is. Basically our temperature is around 70. My RPM is low, so let's see if it's allowing me to do idle relearn. So it's in executing. I got no lights on, so let's see if they say complete. All right, cool. Let's stop there. Let's come out of here. Let's go into read data. So we're gonna go into all signals. We're gonna go to ACC, and we're gonna read. I want to read the temperature also. Was engine speed, coolant temp, and I want to see. I would like to see the mass airflow, TP1, TP2. All right, let's graph all this. So right now, my mass airflow is reading at 1.07, which is good. My TP sensor 1 and 2 is at 0.67 and 0.69, which is good. My RPM is at 700. My coolant temperature is at 91, and ACC acceleration sensor, sorry, which is 1 and 2, is at 0.76. So that's good. So let's step on the X and see if it. Let me come out the math. I don't need this. I don't need this. Let's check this only. Let's graph this. Right. So let's check this out. sure I'm seeing everything moving on my scan tool. Let's check the scope. So what you're seeing there is my my TP1 and TP2 sensors crossing. While you step on the X, like that, it's coming close, and then they crisscross, go high and low. Right, so let's take this for a run and monitor our TP using the scope, and we'll call that a fix if it works. So with the scan tool hooked up and the scope sitting on the dash, I'm just gonna take it for a spin. Sound like the transmission is making that noise again. The vehicle started to act up again. Basically, I'm foot to bone, I'm not going anywhere. It's not even moving, it's not even responding. If I put it back in park, I'm going to accelerate. But when I put it in drive, it's not going anywhere. Every time I put it back in park and I step on the X, my APP1 and APP2 is moving like it's supposed to. Yeah, I do. Yeah, they would just want to know if I had troubles with the vehicle. That's nice of her. Yeah, so as I said, man, it sounds like this transmission also has a fault where it's slipping. Right? You've seen the RPM increasing. When I step on the X, you see my APP moving, but it's not. The transmission is not moving, you know. So, and I'm scanning, not getting any codes. I try to put it in drive right now, which I am in. I'm watching my APP. Nothing. I have no response at all. So, I mean, it can be, let's see. I don't want to say it can't be, but my pedal is moving, but not my TP. But if I put it back in park, it goes back to where it's supposed to be, and you see it resets. As I said, I mentioned this to the I did make mention that this vehicle may have some transmission issues, I believe, and when it gets extremely hot, that's when it starts to act up, because my APP moved when I step on it. Also my TP, you see sensor 1 and sensor 2 doing what it's supposed to do. So why am I not moving? So let's switch the car off and see if it will restart. You actually see my APP, my TPS 1 and 2 goes back to ground. Right, when I switch it on, so I'm getting, that means my wiring is good, my harness is good, and my ECU is good. The throttle body is good too. This is a fresh one I put on. Right? So why is it doing this? This has to be some. And now I'm moving. When I start the car over, you see we're in the move. But I believe this transmission is slipping. And this client, he's been driving around with a transmission problem for a while, and with that now he continued driving it and messed the TP up. It's not, so if you're asking for more power, you see the RPM shooting up, but the tach not moving at all. I'm not even, You see the engine trying to move, but you're not getting anything from the transmission side. And it's making a whining noise, man. And he kept driving it like this, and that was the cause why it messed up in the first place. So I'm gonna just give this back to the client and let him know that he have to replace his transmission. Let's switch off because I'm in the middle of the road on the street right now. Yeah, let's switch off because I'm in the middle of the street and I just shut down. So let's try to move it now. Nothing. Put it back in park. Let's switch off. Leave it for like a minute or two. Hopefully no cars wanna pass. Let's start back. And now it moves. This is not the trouble. This is that transmission is giving trouble. And this client has been driving this vehicle like this in this state for a while, and it decided to give up. And it threw out the throttle body code because why? He kept driving it in that state. And so probably if he had caught the transmission issue before, he won't damage the throttle body. But right now, by look at my RPM, it's at 1500. I'm driving and I'm moving like 20, which is like nothing. My APP is still where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna switch off now and restart and see if I get to move. And you hear a whining sound from the transmission.